For the past 6 years, I have been going back and forth between eating a fully raw and a high raw vegan diet. And while I obviously would be out of my mind to still be doing it if the positive benefits of it wouldn't be outweighing the negative ones, today I want to take some time to actually talk about the uncomfortable truth of eating this way, because I do feel like on social media a lot of influencers, including myself, are glamorizing this lifestyle, and while it is amazing, there are some things you need to be aware of that I also feel like I want to bring to the table and I want to talk about today. So the first one is that you become incredibly sensitive when you eat mainly raw food. And that's actually why I think so many, including myself, at least in the very beginning, go back and forth between, eating cooked food, eating fully raw, eating cooked food, eating fully raw, because you become so sensitive that literally living and functioning in this world where you still need to make money, you need to pay your rent, there's so many responsibilities, and you just need to interact with people. I mean, you could just be a hermit, but I know at least for me, that's not my path. All right, the next thing we need to talk about is you need to pee at least once a night, if not even two, sometimes even 3 nights. And while generally peeing at night is actually a good thing because it means your body is well hydrated, it is detoxifying. There are also ways you can prevent having to pee at night. So for example, having most of your meals and water throughout the first half of the day. But generally, I still find myself peeing at least once a night. And yeah, it can sometimes be a little bit annoying, but then it is also a sign that you're in good health. And I wouldn't change it for anything in the world, even though it can disrupt the sleep quality sometimes. All right, I just got off the train, and another thing that can be such a pain in the ass, which ultimately is a sign of good health, is... Huh?
What's up? I'm from here. This is Rich Tom.
Is your smell or your smell sensitivity. So when I'm in the train, I can literally smell everything. Like, I can smell what kind of deodorant people wear, what kind of skincare, when they smoked, when they drank alcohol. Yeah, you can just smell everything. And while I think if you were a nature diet, it's actually a really, really good thing, because then you can seek out really high quality fruits, because if they smell fragrantly, that tells you that you have a nice fruit. But it's just something to be aware of. And yeah, or even when I'm out in public, or even when I'm on a walk in nature and someone passes by and just, washed his clothes and they smell like laundry detergent, then you can smell all of that, and that sometimes it's something that needs to be surrendered to. The next thing I want to talk about is that you become a very powerful manifester when you start to clear out your diet and no longer suppress the powerful force within you with heavy numbing foods that take a lot of energy to digest, but you have so much energy to just live. So you become incredibly powerful at manifesting, which ultimately I would say again is a pro. However, if due to your work environment, you or your family, you are surrounded by people who have a lot of very negative thoughts, or just things in your life that you don't want because you are so connected, that might really affect what you manifest for yourself in your own life. And also watching movies, like I really need to be careful what kind of movies I watch. Like literally a while ago, I decided to rewatch all of the Harry Potter movies, and I don't know, like the 2-3 weeks afterwards weren't really that bright in my life. I don't know how to describe it, but there was a lot of like challenges and darkness all of a sudden. And of course, I think it's always our perspective on how we look at things. But still, like, I just think it's really, really important to know that you become incredibly powerful at manifesting. And if there are any other like raw foodists out there who have had similar experience, please let me know in the comments. I want to know if I'm just the only one or if this is normal. But yeah, the other thing is the logistical efforts that can be involved with this kind of lifestyle. Even though I will say that overall, I wouldn't say it is that much more effort because, first of all, I save so much time when it comes to cleanup because cleanup literally takes like 5 seconds, 10 seconds because there's no grease, there's no gunk on the cutlery. It's just fruit juices or salad dressings or stuff like that. I don't put oil on my salads. I make dressings with hemp seeds and dates and lemon or lime, blend it up with my blender. And yeah, so it's usually very easy to clean things up. And also prep time is so quick because I mean, I still cook some of my food, but if I don't cook my food, I find myself using as little time as possible. So when I have a day where I have a lot of things going on or a lot of, appointments, that's usually the days where I do fully raw because it takes 5 minutes to make a quick salad. It takes 2 minutes to cut open a melon. It takes, 3 minutes to make a banana smoothie. So all these meals are done in a jiffy. So I really like doing that when I have a lot of things going on. So yeah, but then it is important to note that I just spent 2 hours this morning to go to the wholesaler, pick out the best deals. Of course, I could just buy anything, but you want to buy high quality when you eat this way because that's what's really going to help you stick with it. So I would say that when it comes to food shopping, you do need more time to buy everything. I still don't really know if it averages out through so much time that you save in the kitchen, but yeah, maybe I should calculate that one day. But yeah, and then the other thing that I also want to mention is, of course, the price. We cannot deny that we do spend more when we eat more fruits and vegetables because that is the most expensive calorie source compared to, rice or whatever. But then I'm also thinking like I rarely ever eat out because the food that I have at home satisfies me so much. And now that I know what true quality tastes like, the food in restaurants, I mean, I really am not a picky eater, but it's just, you can just feel it's just not the same. So I don't even have the desire to go out other than just for the social aspect of it, which brings me to another downside, and that is the social life. I feel like a lot of raw food is, unless you have like a community of people who eat this way, are kind of a little bit loners, like lone wolves. So because I don't know, like I just feel like your standard for how you want to eat and how you want to spend your time goes up quite a bit because you've tasted the deliciousness of life through all the delicious fruits and produce. And then when you have such a high standard, then I feel like you just need a really high vibe community to be able to fulfill that, which isn't always there. I mean, I have been surrounded by amazing people in my life, and I've been in amazing spaces, whether that was, raw or not, like just high vibe. But generally, I find that the social life, especially when it comes to spending time with my family, which I still love a lot, but still, it's just a little bit impaired, I guess, because you cannot do the same things. Like my sister even told me that she wished that, we would be more alike sometimes, that we could go out for dinner regularly, which is something I don't really enjoy that much. And I just feel like, of course, you can shift your focus towards other aspects of life, like doing activities together. Going hiking or climbing or to a yoga class. There's so much you can still do. But a lot of the things that people, enjoy, the majority of the people on the planet, isn't something that we find that much pleasure in anymore. At least that's how I feel, and also how I feel like a lot of my friends feel as well. And then the last one I want to mention as well is that because your standard goes up so much in all areas, I also feel like when it comes to friendships, but also, dating and partners, like personally, I've come to a point where the thought of being in a relationship with someone who isn't vegan and who still consumes animal products doesn't really excite me that much anymore, or I cannot really imagine it anymore. I mean, an exception would of course be if the person would be very flexible and open to shifting the perspective. But generally I have found that my standards have gone up a lot, and that of course there isn't that much variety to choose from anymore, so which is fine. But I just think that that's something that or at least that's been my observation, that a lot of raw foodists or just people who are more health conscious definitely struggle with, even though it doesn't have to be a struggle if you don't want to. And now, lastly, I also want to close this video with a few pros, just 3, but I made a whole video with 33 pros of why I eat this way. So if you want to check that out, click here, but maybe not click here yet, but I'll insert it here in the end. But now I just want to get 3 off my chest right off the bat. And the first one is my ability to deal with challenges and stress in life, and just in general my mental health. Like, even when life hits you really hard, I found for myself that I'm still able to stay calm and even joyful and grateful, and connect to the universe, the divine, God, whatever you want to call it, through the food. Because if you have like a really good fruit, and that doesn't have to be anything fancy, you can get really good fruit at supermarkets, and you eat it and you are present with it, you can have really amazing experiences, like drug-like experiences, I swear. I mean, I haven't really been into drugs much, but at least the experiences I had then were very similar to some experiences that I've had when eating fruit. So then you can reconnect with who you truly are beyond the form, and that always helps you to realize that however loud the wind and the storm outside of you is, if we are rooted and deeply connected within, then nothing that can really affect us, nothing real can be threatened. There's this quote in the Course of Miracles: nothing real can be threatened and nothing unreal exists. And so it's such a deep quote that always helps me realize that I choose how I want to react to the things in my life, and always helps me to be resilient to things that maybe don't go the way that I planned them to. So and then the other 2, one is physical health. Obviously, like, you have more energy, you need less sleep, you just feel really, really good, at least if you have been doing this for some time. In the beginning, it might get worse before it gets better. That's how I found is with so many things in life. Usually it has to get worse before it gets better. But you can always know that there is a light at the end of the tunnel, because like, if you change something in your life into a way that is more positive, then you will see that on the outside as well eventually. And it can even go quickly. So and then the last one is your intuition becomes strengthened. I feel that I'm more intuitive, and that really helps me to make decisions in life, make the right decisions, or make the decisions that really make sense and bring me joy, and just feel good. So if you want 33 more benefits, then make sure to watch this video, and thanks for watching. Bye.